Hello, dear friends. It's quiz time again. MCQ Marathon at Lit ECT, the one-stop YouTube channel for NTA NET English preparation. And today we are here with once again 5 unseen, totally new questions that will test your knowledge about 20th century literature. We will discuss some great poets, writers, novelists, works, and apart from these questions, I will also give you some additional information about each of them. So let's start with our first question of the day. The Salt-Weed Factor, published in 1960, one of the most popular works of postmodernist fiction. It is a pastiche of late 17th century English prose and centers around the progress of the poet Ebenezer Cook in New World. So this novel is about a poet and his journey in the New World. It is written in imitation of 17th century English ornate prose. Now you have to identify the writer of this novel. The options are, all options, my dear friends, are very important from exam point of view because questions are frequently asked from these writers and their works. Our first option is John Fowles, and the second one is Peter Ackroyd, third one is Umberto Eco, and the fourth one is John Barth. Okay, out of these questions, I hope you know 1, 2 or maybe more than 2 or 3 works because they are one of these all are very important writers. John Fowles, if we talk about him, he is the writer of 2 very prominent postmodernist fiction works, and one among them is very popular. I hope you have heard the name of The French Lieutenant's Women. It is one of very popular text which questions the fictionality of fiction, and it is a Victorian era romance. He is also writer of another work, The Magus. It is also very popular, and in fact this is the first novel by John Fowles. If we talk about Peter Ackroyd, in one of our earlier edition, we have already seen one of his work, The Last Testament of Oscar Wilde, which is based on, which is presented in the voice of Oscar Wilde himself. Apart from that novel, he is also famous for his novel Hawksmoor, which is once again a historical investigation. If we talk about Umberto Eco, he is a semiotician and he is most popular for this work, The Name of the Rose, which is basically a sort of crime thriller, and his last work, Foucault's Pendulum, that is also very important. And if we talk about John Barth, yes, dear friends, it is the answer. John Barth is the answer, and The Salt-Weed Factor is his novel, which is very popular because he has tried to imitate the 17th century ornate prose style, talking about a lesser known poet, Ebenezer Cook. Okay, moving ahead to our second question. A Christmas Garland. It is a brilliant collection of parodies, and those who are parodied include H.G. Wells, Henry James, Joseph Conrad, and others. Who is the writer of these caricature-like sketches? And our options are G.K. Chesterton, who is also known as Prince of Paradox. Apart from being a prominent essayist, a prominent Catholic writer, he is also known for writing some good fiction related with, we can say, spy literature, The Man Who Was Thursday. Next option is George Bernard Shaw. Oh, I don't need to talk about him. He is the grand old man of English literature. Almost 50 years he gave 50 years of his life he gave to literature, writing plays that were very important because they raised the issues of society. Then we have Max Beerbohm. Max Beerbohm, once again, talked about figure, very popular figure because he is also a caricaturist and he is also writer of a very popular novel, that is Julika Dobson. and the last one is James Turber. James Turber is one of the most popular humorists of his time. He is an American writer, and he is celebrated the comic frustration and eccentricities of ordinary people. Okay, A Christmas Garland. This work is by Max Beerbohm, and he is also writer. Remember, this may be asked. He is also writer of a very funny, very farcical type of novel, Juleka Dobson, which is set in a university. Our third question of the day is, which among these influential periodicals is the one associated with Irish literature and culture? Dear friends, the trend which started at the end of the 18th century, it flourished up to the mid 20th century, and there were many, we can say, periodicals dedicated to particular causes. You have to find out among these the one which is concerned with the Irish literature. Okay, the options are the Beacon, second one is the Bell, third one is Black Orpheus, and the last one is Athenaeum. Okay, you may be not very much aware about these things, but you can never be sure. Anything can be asked in your exam, so please read about and explore all the major literary journals, periodicals of past 200 years. If we talk about these, the Beacon is established. It is to encourage West Indian writers to examine their own societies. So Beacon is related with Caribbean literature. If we talk about Black Orpheus, it is the first African literary periodical. This is his, we can say, importance, historical importance. It is the first African literary periodical. If we talk about the Athenaeum, it is a British magazine of 20th century, but the one we are talking about is the Bell, and the writers, it started in 1940, Sean O'Fallon, Elizabeth Bowen, Flann O'Brien, Patrick Kavanagh, Frank O'Connor. These were the writers who were associated with this particular periodical, whose purpose was to promote the Irish literature. Okay, our next question, dear friend, is which of the following pairs of the novel and their respective author is not correct? And the options are The Darling Buds of May, and author is H.E. Bates. Second is Giles Got Boy, and the option is John Barth. Next is G, and the author is John Berger. And the last one, Martha Quest, and the author is Iris Murdoch. Okay friends, if we talk about these novels, these once again very popular novels, all these novels are very popular. If we talk about The Darling Buds of May, it is a series of 5 books about Larkins. Remember this name, these are the protagonists of this name. They are Larkins, and they belong to the rural family from Kent. And yes, it is written by H.E. Bates. He is also known for his novel The Purple Plain. This is also very popular novel by H.E. Bates. Next is Giles Got Boy. John Barth, we have just discussed about his one novel, and this one is another novel, very famous novel. And in this particular novel, the world is fictionally reimagined as a giant university divided into east and west campuses, each controlled by a giant computer. Very popular this work. John Barth, as we have already discussed, he is a postmodernist writer. A very important and radical work by him is Letters, which is his later work. And in this particular novel, which was published in 1979, Barth interacts with characters from his first 6 books. So you can see how he plays with the fictionality of the fiction. That is why he is one of the most important postmodern writers. And if we talk about G, it is once again a Booker winning book, John Berger Dwara, and it is experiment novel about a character who is like Don Juan. Don Juan is, and the locale, the setting is pre-First World War. So it is also by John Berger. And the last one is Martha Quest. Dear friends, Martha Quest is not written by Iris Murdoch. It was written by Doris Lessing. Doris Lessing, we all know she is a Nobel Prize winner writer. She is famous for the Children of the Violence series. She is famous for The Grass is Singing. On the other hand, Iris Murdoch, she is known for novels like The Bell or Under the Net. Okay, so these were options. Please pay focus on all these writers, all these works. These are I need to repeat again. These are very important one. Last question of the day, dear friends. The Bell Jar. It is one of an accomplished work by Sylvia Plath. The name of the protagonist is Esther Greenwood. She undergoes growing emotional and intellectual conflicts following her move from the university into the sophisticated environment of a New York fashion journal. Now, the important thing about this novel is that Plath published this novel not under her original name but under the pseudonym. You have to find out under which name she published this work. Was it Silp or SILF? Was it Victoria Lucas or Ariel or Margaret Moody? Dear friends, three names I have coined. They are not part of Ariel. Is obviously one of her most talked about, most popular poems. Silp or Margaret Moody, these are just coined and fake names. It was under the name of Victoria Lucas that Sylvia Plath published The Bell Jar. That's all for today, dear friends. I hope you are enjoying this MCQ marathon, and I am going to bring you more and more questions until I am exhausted with this never-ending treasure of facts and knowledge. Thank you, dear friends.